You'll always have a world of promises, and then you'll always have these scarce assets that people use as store of value across generations. And Bitcoin has entered that realm of a good store of value across generations, even with only 14 years of history.
The ping you hear is the distinct sound of a real gold coin. It's just one of the ways to verify the authenticity of the metal contained within. This gold-plated tungsten counterfeit coin, not so much. This one doesn't ring true. This is where the term sound money comes from, and the recognizability or verifiability of gold is one of the key attributes of what makes for good money.
Money is an asset that best satisfies 5 critical properties: divisibility, durability, recognizability, portability, and scarcity.
A ubiquitous part of our daily lives, money has a rich and intriguing history that stretches back thousands of years. From the earliest forms of trade to the modern digital era, the evolution of money is a fascinating tale of human ingenuity and societal progress.
It allows us to trade. It allows us to develop the division of labor, which would not be possible at any kind of sophisticated level without money.
To overcome the limitations of barter, societies gradually adopted commodity money, comprised of valuable items such as seashells, beads, salt, tobacco, or anything that was universally recognized and accepted as a medium of exchange.
And it can be anything. It can be a banana, it can be food, it can be any kind of good. As long as I acquire the good with the purpose of it passing it on to you, not with the purpose of me consuming it.
And so you see in the history around the world, and you go to places. I was in an island in the Pacific in which they had as money these big stones. And literally, they were taking a boat, this big carved stone, and they were taking it from one of the islands to the other, and it sank, and it went to the bottom, and they still perceived it as having value.
Gold and silver emerged as the preferred commodities because of their durability and scarcity. But with the expansion of trade and commerce, carrying large quantities of precious metals became cumbersome and fraught with risk. In response, societies began using paper money, which represented a claim on a specific amount of gold or silver stored in banks. This transition brought forth the rise of banking institutions, where individuals could deposit their precious metals and receive paper notes as a more convenient form of currency.
It was a sound system in theory, but it broke. That's why that situation ended in 1971.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
When the U.S. went off the gold standard, it marked the end of sound money. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency since the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II. But for the last 50 years, there is nothing backing the dollar except government fiat. In other words, the dollar has value simply because the government declared it to be so. And it's all enabled by the central bank.
It's a country's authority which controls their monetary system. And the U.S. Federal Reserve was established in 1913, and they snuck it through around Christmas time when nobody was there to vote on it. It's really a money trust. And what it allows is for cantillionaires to take advantage of everybody else by printing the money to bail themselves out. And they basically control when the money is issued and at what price.
This idea of sound money is an old concept that people are grasping onto today because they realize that this layered money system has nothing at the top that is physical.
With nothing sound backing the dollar, the money supply is untethered from economic reality. More and more money is printed in the form of debt, and the consequences are kicked down the road. Unelected central bankers with all too human flaws are in charge of the cost of borrowing and the number of dollars flowing through the system, and that number continues to go up.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money?
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money.
In the fiat system, the way that you mine a new currency into existence is through lending. When your bank makes a new loan, they don't take somebody else's money and give it to you. They make new money, essentially, out of thin air, and they hand it to you. They put it in your bank account.
They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
Anyone who cares to take a look at the inflation of the money supply, which leads to significant asset inflation, can see the problem here. The more money printed into existence dilutes everyone's purchasing power, leading to wealth inequality and worse.
The problem with our money is that there's no objective source of truth. It's always allowed to be manipulated. The line of what is true and what isn't changes depending upon how much power you have, how much positional authority you have, or what geographical jurisdiction you have in the world.
Gold and gold-backed paper currency, while not perfect, worked okay for the last few thousand years of human history. But what if there was something better?
What I liked about Bitcoin was it was a digital gold or a digital property that you couldn't inflate. So call it digital gold without all the imperfections of gold.
What's actually happening is you have a bearer instrument inside a network with unlimited velocity.
Bitcoin is an open, programmable source of exchanging value across time and space that we can all access.
The reason it's so genius, and the reason Satoshi's an artist, and the reason Bitcoin is effectively perfected money is because Satoshi took away all of the indivisibility, all of the decomposability, all of the unrecognizability, all of the immovability, and all of the unpredictability from money. He maximally removed all of these negative aspects of money to deliver us the quasi-perfection that is Bitcoin.
If the story of human progress is marked by innovation and the technology of money is the language of value, we may have finally invented an incorruptible way to communicate with each other, globally, instantaneously, and most of all, truthfully.
You'll always have a world of promises, and then you'll always have these scarce assets that people use as store of value across generations. And Bitcoin has entered that realm of a good store of value across generations, even with only 14 years of history. It's already proving that it's on that track. I think that's one of the most bullish things about Bitcoin is its properties are known, they're well known. The speculation of what it can do in the future is up for debate. But what it is today, I think it's really being cemented.